Namah Parvati Pataye Govindanam Sankirtanam.
Namaste everyone. So we will start Amrita Vadanam and Mahalakshmi Vivaham today in this session. So in the previous session we have seen Gajendra Moksham charitam, which is a very, very divine charitam. So before starting this Amrita Vadanam and Mahalakshmi Vivaham, we will start with a prayer. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vigno Bashantaye. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Sarva Lokanam Vishije Bhavaroginam Nadiye Sarva Vidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaham. தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜா சர்வவியாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாய பிறப்பருக்கும் மகா பெரியவா அடி போற்றி. ஓம் ஜன்மாத்யஸ்ய யதோ அன்வயாதிதரதச்சாஹத்தேஷு அபிஜ்ஞः ஸ்வராட்டம் தேனே பிரம்மஹ்ருதாய ஆதிகவயே முஹ்யந்தி யத் சூரயः तेजो वारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र सर्गो मृषाम् दाम्ना स्वेन सदा नरस्तगुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि. मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. So in this Srimad Bhagavatam, we will see Amrita Vadanam and Mahalakshmi Vivaham. See, Devatas or Devas, sometimes they get the Rajyam. And, sometimes they won't. They will lose the Rajyam. See, how this is happening is, the Devatas, the reason is when the Sattva Gunam reaches high, they rule. And when it declines and when Rajogunam or Tamogunam, becomes higher, then what will happen? They lose the Rajyam. This is how they get the Rajyam and they lose the Rajyam. So here what happens is once when due to the curse of Durvasa Munivar, that is sage Durvasa, the Devas were defeated in the battle of Asuras. At that time, Mahabali was head of Asuras, was the king of Asuras at that time. So when the Devas were deprived of their heavenly kingdom, they went to the Satvalokam. Satvalokam means Lord Brahma's lokam, is Satvalokam. So they went there. Lord Brahma is the head of all the Devas also. So, and informed Lord Brahma of what had happened. So, the Devas were also proud of their Sattva Gunam. Whenever they get the Sattva Gunam, they get proud. Okay, we are all very good. We are all true and we are all Devas. So, they were all very proud of their Sattva Gunam. So, Bhagavan wanted to teach them a lesson. Whenever we get something, we should not brag about that. We should not be feeling proud and we should not look upon others as, in a lower ebb. So Bhagavan wanted to teach them a lesson. So when all the Devas along with the Lord, Brahma, went and prayed to Supreme Lord, Bhagavan said, if you churn the milky ocean, then you will get Amritam. And that Amritam will make you all immortal, it will make you all mightier than the Asuras. You will get all the strength back if you get all the nectar. Nectar means Amritam. Because, but it's not an easy job. It's not an easy job churning the ocean, mighty ocean. So, you have to call Asuras also, demons, Asuras also, to help in this job. But, for churning this, ocean, not only that, you have to, use this Mandira mountain, that is Mandira Malai, Mandira mountain for churning. For churning, some rod is used, So you have to use this Mandira mountain for churning. And, and for churning, you have to use a rope. So for that purpose, you have to use the serpent Vasuki as a rope for churning. So then, then with the help of the asuras, you have to churn the ocean and you have to get the amritam. So there will be devas here, that is Muppadu Mukkodi devas here on one side, and the asuras, that is 60 crores asuras on the other side, as to churn the ocean. But devas said, how can we go, and ask asuras for help? Asuras will not help for, to come and churn and give amritam, to get amritam. But Bhagavan said, if you say that you will get the share of amritam, that is, you will also, that the asuras will also get the share of amritam, then they will come. So you go and say like that. So following the instructions of the Supreme Lord, the Devas established a peace with the Maharaja Bali Maharaja, who is the chief or the king of the Asuras at that time. So Bhagavan wanted them to do a great karma, to be relieved from this karma. See, then both the demons means asuras and the devas, started for the ocean, taking the Mandara mountain, the whole big mountain with them. Because of the, the Mandara mountain is not easy to carry. It's not easy to lift and go. So, because of the great heaviness of this Mandara mountain, they become even both the devas and asuras, they become fatigued. They became tired, and some of them actually died. So then the Lord Vishnu there appeared there on the back of the Vahanam, Garudan Vahanam. And by the mercy of, and by his mercy, he brought this demons and devas back to life. Those who are all dead, back to life. And the Lord then lifted the mountain and was carried to the spot of the churning by Garudan, and who placed the mountain in the middle of the ocean, that is middle of the sea. Then the Lord Vishnu asked Garudan to leave that place, because as long as this Garudan was present, the serpent Vasuki would not come there. So he asked Garudan to leave that place. So what happens is, this is how Bhagavan gives a big karma to do for those who expects fruitive actions, means palan. Those who expects the palan, he will give a big karma to do. So persons who love to do, for fruitive actions, they get by doing karma again and again. At one point of time, what happens is they realize, they become fed up of their fruitive actions and surrender to the Lord. At that point of time, getting, desire for something and doing karma for getting or for satisfying the desire, again and again doing like that, one gets fed up. And at last, will come to know that all these palan will not work. All these desires will not work. And we have to surrender to the Lord at one point of time. So, till then they have to do the karma. So similarly, the devas here wanted their kingdom back, and they do all the karmas. But when they, brag or become proud of their actions, what will happen? Then they cannot even lift a single stone. So again, they pray. Then the God comes for the rescue. So that's how it is happening. So here, what happens with the understanding? With the understanding that that when nectar or the amritam, amritam was generated from the churning, then they would share it equally. said that the Devas and Asuras, what happens? They brought Vasuki. Vasuki is a snake, big serpent, to be used as the rope for the churning rod. Then with the expert advice of Lord Vishnu, the Asuras held the mouth part of that serpent, mouth side, near the mouth, the snake near the mouth, and the Devas hold it near the tail part of the serpent. Thus they were holding. Then with a great endeavor, they began pulling the snake in both the directions. They were churning, because of the churning rod, this Mandira mountain was very heavy and was not held by any support in the water, and it sank into the ocean. And in this way, what happens? The prowess of both the Devas and Asuras was vanquished. So again, the Lord Vishnu appeared there in the form of tortoise. Tortoise means Kurma Avataram. He took Kurma Avataram and supported the Mandara mountain, with his back, on his back. Okay, on his back he supported the Mandara mountain there. Then churning resumed with greater force. It is said because of that breathing of that Kurma Avataram, because of the breathing of that tortoise, the waves of the ocean was created. Otherwise, where come the waves would come? So this is due to that breathing of the tortoise. So initially, what happened from the churning, unexpectedly, the halahal vesham, means the poison, halahal vesham poison appeared. And all the Devas and Asuras, they got scared and they were running this side and that side because of even from the smell of the poison is so dangerous. So then everyone, they all prayed to Lord Shiva, Maheshwara, Parameshwara, who was also called Asutoshi. Asutoshi meaning, whatever we wish will be granted immediately by Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva appeared there and drank the whole poison. The goddess Durga, means the goddess Parvati, Bhavani, wife of Lord Shiva, knows Lord Shiva's prowess. So Lord Shiva gathered the devastating poison which was everywhere. So he took it, he took it in his hand and just drank it. After he drank the poison, his neck became bluish in color. That's why he is called as a Neelakantan. A small quantity of that poison, dropped from his hands to the ground, and it is because of this poison that there were, you can see all the poisonous snakes, scorpions, toxic plants, and other poisonous things in the world. It's because of that poison, which was the drop of poison, dropped from the hands of Lord Shiva. And after Lord Shiva drank all the poison, both the Devas and Asuras, took courage and resumed churning the ocean again. They were churning, and the activities of churning started. And because of this churning, first Surabhi cow appeared. And the great saintly persons, sages, they want the milk for Abhishekam and everything, isn't it? So they took the Surabhi cow, accepted the cow. And then a horse named Ucheshrava appeared. And Maharaja Bali took it. And Kaustubam, kind of a gem, appeared from the ocean. And Lord Narayana took it and put it in his chest. And Airavatam, a great elephant, appeared. And Parija, the flower, appeared. And other Apsaras appeared. Beautiful women in the world appeared. And what happened? And at last, the goddess of fortune, Mahalakshmi, appeared with the garland in her hand. She appeared like an electricity, surpassing all the lightning that might illuminate a marble mountain. because of her exquisite beauty, her bodily features, her bodily features and just a minute, I think my video is gone, I think. Okay, sorry. Actually, this Mahalakshmi, she appeared from the ocean, and she appeared like, she's very beautiful, she illuminated like anything. And because of her beautiful, exquisite beauty, her bodily features and her youth, her complexion, and her glory is everywhere. Everyone, including the devas, the asuras, the human beings, desired her. They want her. So they were all, they were attracted because she is the source of all the opulences. And because she is the source of all opulence, she came, and she also came with a garland in her hand. She wanted to have somebody as her husband. So she came with the garland in her hand. So all the devas, all the rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, all the rivers, all the mountains and oceans gave all the gifts to Mahalakshmi. Now Mahalakshmi has to garland someone, and accept him as her husband. See, while walking among, the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, Siddhas, Charanas, and, denizens of heaven, Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, was scrutinizingly, examining them. But she could not find anyone naturally endowed, with all the good qualities. None of them was, devoid of fault. None of them was devoid of faults. Everyone has some fault or the other, and therefore she could not take shelter of any of them. But she's, scrutinizing, like, she's the, oh, who could be my husband? Okay, shall I take him as a husband, or like that? She's started. Mahalakshmi, examining the assembly, thought that someone who has, undergone great austerities, great penance, were there, like, Sukracharya and all. But he was not yet conquered the anger. He's an anger person. So she can't choose. And someone possesses knowledge, like Brahma Deva. But he has not conquered the lusty desires. Someone with great personality, but cannot conquer, lust, like Indran, who always depends on someone else. So someone may possess, full knowledge of religion, like Lord Brahma, but he cannot conquer the kama. Someone may possess some, a great power, and yet be unable to check the power, of eternal time. Someone else may have renounced the attachment to the material world, but they are not suitable because they do not, they do not know how to live. So there were some tyagis, but they did the tyagam because of the selfishness, because they can get the name in the board. That's why they did the tyagam. That is sacrifice. Therefore, no one is freed. No one is freed from the influence of this material modes of nature. So she couldn't able to select one. Someone, she found that, someone may have longevity, like Markandeya, but he is all absorbed in, Shiva Archana. He doesn't know the Vishayas to come. Someone may have the auspiciousness and love their wives, but the duration of life is not, is not fixed. One Parameshwara is there, all powerful. Lord Shiva is there, but he always lives in crematorium. Put all the skull jewels. So it's not possible for Lakshmi to marry there, Shiva. So Sugacharya told one Srimad Narayanan was there, but everyone was, showing their head to Mahalakshmi, and he was turning the other side. He knows that, he is independent and, not in want of her. He knows that anyhow this garland, Mahalakshmi will garland him. So this Rama Devi matlab, means Mahalakshmi accepted this Mukundan. Mukundan means Narayana as her husband, as he possesses all the transcendental qualities. And therefore, the most desirable person, means the most desirable. So the goddess, placed upon his shoulders the garland of newly grown lotus flowers. So the Devas, the Gandharvas, then played their, musical instruments there. And such as the conch shells and bongs and drums and all the instruments, they began dancing and singing. And along with their wives, the Gandharvas and all the Devas, they showered flowers and chanted the mantras. And thus, Lord Narayana took goddess Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi, as his wife. Means this is the charitam of Mahalakshmi Vivaham. This is the charitam of Mahalakshmi Vivaham. Amrita Vadanam and Mahalakshmi Vivaham. So after this marriage of Mahalakshmi and Mahavishnu's Vivaham, then again the Devas and Asuras were engaged in churning the ocean of milk. After that, a wonderful person, a beautiful person, a male person appeared there. And this person was Dhanvantari, one of the Vishnu's Avatara. That is, he's a plenary portion of Lord Vishnu. He was very conversant with the science of medicine, founder of Ayurvedam, and he was a Yajna Purushan. So he appeared with a jug of full of amritam, full of nectar. Although he was very, very strong, he was very strong, the Asuras were able to take the jug of amritam by force from his hands. When the jug of amritam was carried off by the Asuras, what happened? The Devas became very sad. They became morose. They sought shelter at the lotus feet of Bhagavan again. And Bhagavan said, okay, don't be aggrieved, don't worry, okay? By my own energy, what I will do is, I will create a quarrel between them, fight between them. So what happened? In this way, what happens? Your desire will be fulfilled. You will get the amritam. So thus the quarrel among the Asuras started. What happened was, each of them said, no, you cannot drink it first. Okay? You cannot drink it. I must drink it first. Me first and not you. So some of the Asuras who are not so mighty or who are so weak, he said that all the Devas have also taken part, in this churning. So in the churning of the Milky Ocean. So everyone has to have a share. So they have the equal right to partake. So the Devas should also have their share of amritam. In this way, the weaker Asuras, the weaker Asuras, forbid the stronger Asuras, to take the nectar. So now in this situation, what happened? The Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu, what happened? He, he assumed the form of a very extremely beautiful woman. He took the Mohini Avatara, the incarnation of, of a woman. This Mohini was, was most pleasing in mind, to the mind. Her complexion, her beauty, her every part of the body was beautifully situated. Her beautiful ears with the earrings, her cheeks. Her cheeks were very beautiful. Her nose was, raised, very sharp nose. She has a very sharp nose. Her face full of youthful luster. Her eyes, her hair, which was extremely beautiful, was and she was garlanded with Mallika flower. She wore a beautiful necklace and other ornaments, and she had beautiful aroma in her body. She wore a beautiful silk saree. Because of the movements of her eyebrows, As she smiled with the shyness and glanced over the asuras, all the asuras were, saturated with the lusty desires. And every one of them desired to, possess her. Seeing her, they approached. They inquired. They inquired about her. And she said, I am a woman, I am just a woman in search of a man. I am here in search of a man. That's it. The Asura said, no, see, there is a dispute going on between us, though we are all brothers. We are in a dispute. And they said, oh, Mohini, you are the one who can solve the dispute between us. So they gave the jug of that amritam, the nectar, to her and said, please distribute among us this amritam, this nectar. So this is a chance. So Mohini smilingly, asked them to sit in a row, like, sit in a line. Asuras are one side and Devas on the other side. What she did was she trickily, she trickily walked very beautifully with the sari and anklets and all on the side of the Asuras and then the line of the Asuras. And the Asuras melted seeing her, and the Asuras were talking between each other that, hey, the Mohini is only, walking in our line. She only likes us. But Mohini, what happened? She distributed all the amritam to the Devas on the other side. One Asura named Rahu understood this cheating of Mohini, and so he dressed himself as a Deva, and sat down in the Devas line, in the line of Devas. So he sat beside this moon and the sun and the moon. So when the sun god, the god said that this is not Deva, this is an Asura sitting in. He showed his eyes and to the Lord, and the Lord understood. When the Lord understood that how Rahu was cheating, he immediately, what happened? He cut off the demon's head. This Rahu's head. But Rahu, however, had already tasted the nectar, had already tasted this amritam. It has gone inside his head. And therefore, although his head was severed, he remained alive and he vomited the nectar. It is said that the vomit of that Asura became that, the garlic and the onions. So that's why, it has got some taste, because it's having some amritam in that. But it's vomit of the Asura only. So normally it's not used in any of the gods' prasadam. So Rahu became one of the planets. So till then, it was only 8 planets. Then only it became 9 planets. So after distributing the amritam to the Devas, Lord Vishnu in the form of Mohini disappeared. So now the Asuras, what happened? They realized, the cheating of Vishnu and became very angry and started to fight. But Devas, they have already, having consumed this amritam, they became very mightier, stronger, and won the battle of Asuras. This is how the Mohini Avataram, this is the Mohini Avataram which Lord Vishnu took. And when Lord Parameshwara heard about all this Mohini Avataram, he wanted to see that Mohini Avataram. He asked Lord Vishnu to show Mohini Avataram. But Lord Vishnu said that this is also Maya. This is only an illusion. This is a Maya, and I don't want to show any Maya to you. But, it's a wrong thing that I can't show this Mohini Avataram to you. But Lord Shiva insisted, no, I want to see this Mohini Avataram. So Lord Vishnu, what happened? Again took Mohini Avataram. Upon seeing this form, what happened? Even Lord Shiva, he was captivated. He was captivated. And later, by the grace of the Lord, he controlled himself. It is said that at this stage only, Lord Ayyappan Avataram took place. That is Hariharan. Hariharan was born to Hari and Haran. Hari is Lord Vishnu and Haran is Lord Parameshwara. So it is also said that, by the power of the Lord's external energy, everyone is captivated by the form of a woman in this material world. And again, however, by the grace of God only, again by the grace of God only, one can overcome the influence of this Maya. So this was evinced by Lord Parameshwara, who was captivated at first and then got, restrained, and got restrained himself. So this is how the Mohini Avataram took place. So in this session we have seen Amrita Vadanam, done by Devas and Asuras, how the Devas and Asuras did this Amrita Vadanam, and how Mahalakshmi Vivaham happened, and how this Mohini Avataram took place, and Dhanvantari came to give the Amrita. So we all pray to Lord Dhanvantari. It's a form of Lord Vishnu, that we should, we should not get any kind of, disturbance in our body. Achyudananda Govinda Namocharana Beshaja Nashyanti Sakala Rogaha Satyam Satyam Vadamyaham. So thus this story is told by Sukacharya to Lord Parikshit. And we will conclude this session with this Mohini Avataram, and we will continue Srimad Bhagavatam in the next session. So we'll continue with we'll conclude this session with Purnamidam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.